of technology in the total reward space. I think we've seen enough mature technology or HR tech in the space of hiring, in the space of L&D, and also in the space of employee experience, where I think most of the large vendors today have some kind of a solution for different segment of clients. But to be fair, I think in total rewards, we still very much and not to demean any organization, but very much manual and Excel driven. And Excel, obviously, there is this purpose and there's a flexibility which all of us are so used to and so happy about. But all of you all are very innovative technology companies. What is your expectation around HR technology and especially total rewards technology in the total reward space, which will make your life easier as you all start focusing on these strategic imperatives for your organization?
I think we are in an era of customization. We have to move from a point of view of trying to customize rewards, and the statement in terms of that this is X is your salary, this you can allocate to benefits, this is how your base is structured, this is how your variable is structured. I think technology can play a huge part in that, drive all of this. I think one more thing that we look at is policies. I think a lot of our policies are driven down from just pointers that these are the 12 points of the policy, you have to follow that. I think, again, we can look at it from a philosophy perspective that, okay, say if you have cards, this is my philosophy that I will have for, or say if you have travel, this is my philosophy around travel. And something like Netflix does that, you take interest as for the best interest of the company. So we can look at it from a philosophy aspect and then drive rewards and all of that, because that makes customization a little easier and that will make us make products a little easier. Also, in terms of HR tech, we kind of push towards perfection. I think we diminish progress and just I want to achieve perfection, where we want the final product to be the best possible thing out there. I think we should prioritize progress over perfection. We will have to have 6 or 7 iterations before we get that final product, which kind of again satisfies.
And I think it's also about how do we give an employee the same experience as what our customers get, right? Today you look at an Uber or you look at an Ola, or you look at a Zomato or a Swiggy, everything is 3 clicks. Right? Why are HR processes still so cumbersome? Nothing happens in 3 clicks, right?
Varun, it's not just, manual. It's all about it's disjointed, right? Even today, I don't think there is a one total rewards tool that gives you access to all components, right? From your fixed to your equity to even your benefits, right? And they are a big part of the overall portfolio. Yeah. When I go ahead and when I invest in an employee, I invest in each of these elements. But is there a tool today which kind of meets my needs? No. Probably some internal tool that I'm able to develop with my own tech team, but it's HR. You get step treatment because you're not the focus of automations, right? So while we try to do that, there's definitely that space which is empty, which kind of combines all these elements together. And that's what we as an organization are trying to do, right? Create that total reward statement so that you're aware of what is it that we are doing, because that gives a view of how we are thinking about our employees, right? It's not just comp. That's just one part of it. It's so many other items that are coming in, but there is not one technology that is helping us do that. Yeah. And to the second point being, how much of participation am I having from my business, right? In the absence of tools, and you rightly said Excels and macro enabled sheets, etc. Do I really have that capability to go and involve them in every decision making? Because it's at the end of the day margins, right? So they have to be involved in each and every aspect of my compensation decision making process. But do I have the capability today? No, I'm trying to establish that. So it's very, very critical that this whole IT industry realizes how much of a need there is, not just in HR, but even within HR in the total reward space, to enable us to give those views to the employees, build pay related transparency, total rewards transparency. And in absence of technology, it becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult to make people understand how an Excel works. How are you supposed to plug in your inputs? Where do you see a total reward statement?
The future is now, frankly, right? When any of the technology partners are building a product, today, if they can really look at how can we include the gig economy as part of that one tool, where we can look at a full-time employee comp structuring and the way we budget for them versus what we are doing for short-term assignment people. How does is there an offering for them what is it that we're doing for interns, because they will be my future employees. This has always been the case, Varun. But now it's come to the forefront. It's no more just, an intern is not just an intern anymore who's just going to come and go. And no, actually, probably it's my pipeline. That's my talent pipeline. My short-term assignments, those are the guys probably I'll depend more on. Probably they are more cost-effective for me tomorrow. So how do I make sure that the technology product offers me this whole arena to play seamless, not just what we've been doing anyways, but right? I know there are products that provide me various modules in that single product, be it from your regular compensation to benefits to long-term incentives, variable pay, sales incentives. Yet this is the one thing that I think that would really differentiate a technology partner for me, for our organization, maybe for many other organizations. That's one. The second thing for sure is, I think flexible benefits is something that started being talked about a lot. The whole conversation kind of died down. This is the time to rekindle and make sure that we have products that really cater to our employees. Very rightly put, I think by Shishir, that they're hardly using, the utilization percentages are minimal. So we shouldn't be bothering about utilization percentages. Today's generation, and let me tell you, it's not just the Gen Z that we're talking about. Even boomers, for that matter, they are also looking at being able to put in the money where it matters for them as employees, right? And hence, it's important to be able to cater to that. And we can't do this without technology. There's no way that an Excel solution can help me with this. And hence, I am actually constricted in what I can offer to my employees as well. So these are two things aspirationally, Varun, I put on the table. Maybe you guys can do something about it.
No, I think these are very important items. As you rightly said, we've been going back and forth on these over the last decade or so. I think maybe initially cost was always a prohibitory kind of a thing, but now with new technologies and open source and a lot of these open APIs available, cost will not be like a constraint. Most of the HR technology that you see nowadays is more of a SaaS model where you pay on a pay-per-use kind of model, and it's a per employee per month. So it's not a huge investment upfront.
I think giving the access on mobile, a quick access of things, because we are locationally now very distributed as a workforce. It's important. How we make it possible, given this is very confidential, there are always these concerns that come up. That's something that that would, a problem area that probably companies like yours can really look at.
If I look at it as a customer, right, and I go on an app, say for example, Uber app itself, I have everything there in terms of all the data mining reports are available. How many trips I've done, what was my last trip amount, which is there, what kind of invoices which are there. I think, in order to have a data-backed decision-making in terms of rewards, technology will play a very big role. And in fact, I have interacted with some of the companies which are using technology really well to gain insights in terms of data. And I think, as technology progresses, it will be incumbent upon us, and it will be important for us to leverage it, usefully. Today, I think, the entire panel talked about, having this data in terms of Excel sheets. Of course, I think, all of us are grappling with those kind of scenarios. But I think tomorrow our businesses will be asking, okay, the entire view from an employee perspective should be with them that, who are those employees which are at risk, and linking it to all the aspects, whether be it performance, potential, NPS surveys, everything linked together, past performances. I think technology there will play a big role to get this all integrated and for us to provide a data-backed decision-making and insights to the business leaders. I think that there, what I see is that we can also mature in terms of our role, where I think, we become very important during the performance and reward cycle rather than, strategic business enablers, which hit towards the entire talent cycle and not just during the performance and reward review phase. We provide those insights, if we provide those insights to the business using technology.
So we are at an inflection point where, 4 to 5 generations are, at least 3 generations are working in the workplace, and the new generations are coming in. And then to what Amit was saying with examples of Uber, Swiggy, Olas and all. And that's the kind of consumer experience that you have. And suddenly you work in an organization. We are very rudimentary when it comes to employee experience. So we don't keep the customer at the center. When we build a new technology product, you put the customer at the center and do a design thinking approach. But I think that is lacking. I think there is a dearth of good, techno-functional, professionals in the entire HR tech space. This is something that I have always experienced. And that is where, you have good coders, you have good technology specialists. And that's why I'm also glad that, you are taking up those roles, because that's where you can kind of bridge that gap. And I think that's a big dearth that we see, at least in the India market. We have good absence of techno-functional people who understand what functionally the function requires, business requires, and kind of can, leverage technology or can translate those needs to technology to develop. I think that's one big dearth that we see in the market. That's one. Secondly, if you ask me about HR technology and how it's leveraged, I think there are multiple aspects there. One is, Shishir was saying that I think there is no one-stop solution right now in the market, right? We still are in that rudimentary phase where it comes to compensation, when it comes to tax compliance, people have to submit bills. I think in the world of UPI payments and all, it's still very rudimentary that someone has to submit a bill to your payroll. I think it's very rudimentary. You can track your payment right from the originator to the destination, right? So an app which can kind of give me everything, right? If I have to claim my LTA, I use that and then, kind of integrate with my travel portals, to all consumer travel portals in the world, to, looking at my flexible benefit, flexible CTC, integrating flexible benefits, if you're having different insurance policies, all APIs of different platform, all coming into the app. But, and that's what Shishir said also was important. We should take baby steps. We're not looking at a product which leverages all and, bring up with the product next month and say, oh, this is the all-in-all product. And there can never be an all-in-all product, but we should start taking baby steps in that direction, I think. And finally, I just want to say that, even aspects of employee engagement, NPS and all, things like employee engagement survey, NPS survey, once in a quarter, once in a year, I think it's important. I'm not discrediting it, but I think to some extent it's pass as well, because right now it's all about realistic. You implement a new policy within 24 hours, you need to know what the employees are, how have they responded. And there are actually technology solutions basically. So that's the direction in which, we'll have to think through, driving engagement on a daily basis, on, sensing the pulse of an organization on a more dynamic basis. I think those are aspects where technology can play a very crucial role.
So we can leverage technology very effectively to communicate our total reward strategy in terms of rewards itself. You bring in all the aspects of, your base compensation, your ESOPs, what is the kind of, variable pay payments which has been received. So I think I really think that there's a lot more engagement through using technology, which we can build for our employees.
Yeah, as you said, things are at such a rudimentary stage that anything above where we are today will be a add-on. And as somebody said, we need to take baby steps so that we feel more comfortable, and at the same time, employees also start believing in us that okay, there is a possibility that what I get as a consumer grade experience is something which I can get internally too.